What is up, everybody? How's it going? Austin Prechtelevate Performance, coming at you live. Happy Thursday. Happy Thursday, everybody. Hope you're having a good day so far. Hope you're having a good day so far. So, today, before we kick things off, I just want to remind everybody that we have the 4-day challenge going on. The 4-day Hall of Slay challenge that is starting this Monday. Last day to register to apply to join is this Friday evening, so make sure that you do that. And if you do apply, and you fill out the application, don't worry, I'm not ignoring you. I'm letting everybody in at the same time on Saturday afternoon. It's going to be a good ass time. So if you are interested in that, if you're wanting to if you're wanting to learn about all of my methodologies and my best secrets in terms of how I help my clients lose weight sustainably, lose fat sustainably, body recomp, strength train properly, all that good stuff, and get into the mindset of how to have a sustainable fitness journey long term, I encourage you to apply if you've been on the fence. If you want to just get an idea even of what it's like to work with me and my team and all that. So yeah, guys, let's go. Definitely apply. Don't not apply. What's up, Aaron? Happy Thursday. Let's go. Let's go. I'm excited to be here today, guys. I'm excited to be here today. Um, yeah, so today what we're going to be talking about is how much weight you should actually be losing on a weekly basis. And it's a little bit of a trick question. It's a little bit of a trick question. But I want to emphasize this just because a lot of people, coming into Christmas, right? Coming into Christmas, coming into New Year's, are going to be starting fitness journeys, right? They're going to be starting to work towards their New Year's resolutions. A lot of those New Year's resolutions are going to be associated with weight loss, right? So, and so often, the reason why people quit is because they get disappointed, right? They get disappointed. They get in that all in, all out mentality. Either I'm succeeding or I'm failing. They don't pay attention to kind of the gray in between, or they don't recognize that that gray in between exists. But also, what causes people to quit is seeing a lack of progress, right? You put in a lot of you put in a lot of effort for a few days, a few weeks, a few, like, even a few months, and oftentimes people are disappointed in the results that they're seeing. And why is that? Well, people have unrealistic expectations a lot of times from the beginning and from the get go. I know I sure as hell did whenever I first started out with my fitness journey. I'm gonna start lifting weights. I'm gonna pack on a ton of muscle. I'm gonna get jacked. I'm gonna do it. And after, a few weeks or even like a month or two, man, what gives with this shit? Like, I'm working out every day. I'm eating. I'm eating more, like all that other stuff. And I was like, this is bogus. Like, yeah, I got a little stronger. I got some muscle, a little bit of muscle, but I was like, this sucks. I was like, man, like, I am not seeing progress. What am I doing wrong? Well, one, I was doing a lot of things wrong because I was new and I didn't know what I was doing. But on top of that, things happen a lot slower than you think they're going to. But I want to emphasize, and I really like this quote, people often overestimate what they can do in one day or a week or even a month, but they underestimate what they can accomplish in an entire year, right? Let me say that again. A lot of times people overestimate what they can accomplish in a day, but they underestimate what they can accomplish in a year. Because oftentimes, right, like if somebody wants to lose weight, who obviously if somebody had the option of, like, oh, do you want to lose, the 30 pounds that you want to lose in, a year, or do you want to lose the 30 pounds in 6 months? Most people are. I don't know anybody who wouldn't say, "I want to lose it in 6 months." I would like to do that, please. I would like to. Let's make it happen faster. Because people, why would you want it to take longer if it didn't have to, right? And so if this is resonating, like, if you're like, oh yeah, that's me, like, like, obviously, like, I want to, like, I would like to lose weight faster, please. That would be great. Go ahead and say me, or raise your hand, or drop some fire in the chat of this live. Also, if you guys are watching later time, hashtag replay, so I know that you saw this. Feel free to give this video a like, because this is going to be a helpful one, and I want people to see this. But yeah, so obviously people want results quicker, right? It's the whole instant gratification, like, time that we live in. Also, like, I hate when people say, like, instant gratification, like, time that we live in, because, humans have always wanted shit to happen faster. Why wouldn't you want it to happen faster if it could happen faster? It's just now we're in the age of the internet and technology, to where it's like it can actually happen really fucking fast. So If though you were trying to lose weight, right? If you're trying to lose weight, let's talk about that. Let's get into the actual topic of this live. If you were trying to lose weight or fat or whatever specifically that your goal is, even if it's strength training to build muscle, how much weight? We're gonna keep it weight oriented or fat loss oriented this go around for this live. How much can you lose? How much should you be losing? Right? How much should you be losing on a weekly basis? And if you're watching right now and you want to take some guesses, feel free to, because oftentimes people are like, oh, like they start a fitness journey and you see these commercials, right? And you're going to be seeing a shit ton more of them. They're already starting. I'm getting ads for it on YouTube and my Pandora and all that shit over and over and over again. It's like for just like the stupidest shit. I've seen there's some weird commercials out there that like in the past couple of years there's like the Jazzercise thing, and then just more recently over the last 6 months there's like this like the ladies, you probably aren't getting this ad, but there's this ad where they're like claiming they're like, take this simple supplement made out of algae and it will make your balls grow by like 3 times. It's the weirdest shit. It's the weirdest, like, stupidest shit I've ever seen. But they promote that stuff because they know that people are trying to like lose weight, or they're trying to like enhance, like, be more masculine, or like build more muscle, and like blah 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 blah. It's just like the weirdest stuff ever, and you're gonna see more of that for like booty band stuff, or like these things that like shock your abs, or like waist trainers and sweatbands and shit like that. You're gonna see a bunch of stuff. But when you see that stuff, just don't even pay attention to it. Ignore it. Put your blinders on. Just be like, that's just dumb. That's not going to help me. Why are they promoting it so much? There's a reason why they're promoting it so much. Is because they want to sell you it, because they know that people are looking for that stuff right now. They know that people are trying to see this stuff. So I see a comment here. Aaron says 1 to 2 pounds a week. Cool. Okay. That is a great baseline. That is a great answer, because you guys are going to be seeing commercials saying like, so and so lost 20 pounds in a month. So and so lost like 5 pounds in 1 week. So and so lost like however much weight, like, in a very short period of time. There's like a formula to it. It's like Jane lost, uh, you know, 50 pounds in 3 months using hydroxycut, or using whatever, like Nutrislim, or all these other bullshit things that are out there that don't that are setting unrealistic. And that person might have lost all that weight. They might have, but it also doesn't show you is that there's this biggest loser effect that I've kind of like I like to kind of coin that term, like the biggest loser effect, where like you had, like, if anybody's watched the show The Biggest Loser, like all these people who were severely overweight and really unhealthy, right, go through these boot camp style workouts and are starving themselves for like weeks on end, months on end, and then guess what? Oh yeah, they lost all this weight. Wow, they look great. But guess what happens? The show ends. They don't give they never gave them any sort of like game plan to maintain that long term, because guess what? Their methods of losing weight were unsustainable as shit. And guess like it's super unsustainable. And guess what happens whenever you're doing something that's unsustainable? You can't sustain it. That's literally why it's called being unsustainable. And then you fall off, and then you get upset with yourself, and you get into a bad headspace, and you feel like there's something wrong with you, and you yo-yo back, and you snap like a rubber band, and then they like so many of the contestants from The Biggest Loser gained all their fucking weight back and more, and are in worse places off than they were, because of this show that was like a terrible like human experiment essentially. And yeah, and so like that happens, right, because of that. And so we want to avoid that from happening. We don't want that to happen to ourselves. We want to actually be able to keep the weight loss and the progress that we make and maintain it, because otherwise, what's the point in going through all that physical, mental, and emotional stress in the first place to get the results if you don't get to keep them, right? And so that's what I'm trying to emphasize here, is that you're going to be seeing a lot of stuff. You don't buy into that shit. Don't buy into that shit. Don't buy into the whole like, man, my aunt lost like 20 pounds from keto in like a month. Man, what's up with that? Guess what? One, your aunt is she lost a ton of water weight. She lost a ton of glycogen, which is like basically how our body stores carbs. For like quick energy essentially. It's just stored glucose. So she lost all that because she's doing keto, so she's not consuming carbs, so that's not getting refilled for your body. So there's that. And then also, you know, she's probably working out and she's probably in a caloric deficit. So there's all these things coming together. And yeah, she lost all that. Maybe your aunt lost all that weight, but guess what? Your aunt is not going to keep losing that amount of weight for that long. She's probably going to gain it all back. She's going to quit and she's going to start eating carbs again. And she's not going to actually know how to keep the weight off or how to maintain it long term because she didn't learn how to actually, you know, like how nutrition works, right? And when that happens, she's gonna probably fall off and have that all in all out mentality, and like and not relapse, but just like rebound, have that rebound effect, and have that biggest loser kind of effect, and gain it all back. And guess what? Her net weight loss is going to be negative because she's going to have gained weight probably, right? In this scenario, I've seen it so many freaking times. Like you probably have a family member or a friend that has had that happen to them before, and the reason is because is that it wasn't sustainable. That those systems or those like guidelines, those these fad diets and things like that are not built for long term sustainability. And so, you know, yeah, they lost all that weight, but guess what? They probably gained it all back, or they were miserable, or they're still miserable, right? So when that happens, so that is unsustainable, right? That is unrealistic. That is not what most people see when it comes to weight loss progress or fat loss progress. And so, what can you expect, right? What is normal? What is good? What is great? What is like, you know, your average person, what you should expect? So, let me preface the heavier that you are or the higher weight that you're at in terms of being overweight, especially in proportion to like your frame, right? So if you're, you know, if the shorter you are and like the heavier that you are, like, you know, the more weight that you could probably, you know, lose within a week and still be considered like okay. Just like general rule of thumb, like, you know, if, you know, anywhere from like, if you're like 230 or 250 plus, right, pounds plus, you can probably lose more than what the number I'm about to tell you is and still be considered okay because you've just got so much extra to lose that you're like proportionally that your body is, you know, is okay with getting rid of more of it quicker potentially, right? And it's easier said than done in a lot of cases, but there are some people that I know that like I've worked with that, you know, can lose a ton in a very short period of time, but it's because, you know, they're starting to get these habits down, they're starting to do these all these things good at the same time, and it all kind of comes together. And so you can expect, you know, more rapid weight loss kind of towards the beginning potentially, if you are one of these like quick responders. But if you were somebody, you know, let's just say your average person, right? Let's say you're your average person, or you're just starting a fitness journey, and you're wanting to do it sustainably. You're wanting to do it the right way, and you're wanting to, you know, you're just getting into this. What can you expect, right? What can you expect? In general, for it to be sustainable, for it to not be something that's going to stress your body out too much, or make you feel like you're starving a bunch, or you know, be mentally or like physically difficult, right? Like, you know, on the extreme side, and actually, you know, not cause a lot of metabolic adaptation, right? Not a lot of quick, rapid metabolic adaptation, which is what we want to avoid. We don't want that to happen. Is anywhere from like one, like Aaron said in the comments, right? Anywhere from half a pound to 2 pounds lost per week is a good general rule of thumb for the majority of people, right? That's how much, if you're doing everything properly, if you're doing everything right, you're following your nutrition plan, you're in a caloric deficit of anywhere from like 300 to 500 calories, you're working out anywhere from 3 to 5 times a week with strength training, and you're getting your, you know, steps in, right? You're getting your steps in anywhere from like 7 to 10K steps. You can expect to see anywhere from half a pound to 2 pounds lost per week. That is good. That is really good progress. That is normal progress. That is like you are crushing it. If you're losing half a pound, you're crushing it. Like that is good. If you're losing 2 pounds lost per week, holy shit, like you're on fire. Like that is great. Some people will see that progress, but just know that that is normal. It is not normal to lose 5, 10 pounds in a week. That is not normal. That is unsustainable. That is like people emptying their bodies with these weird cleanses and like dehydrating themselves and just and depleting themselves of glycogen. That is what that is. That is not sustainable. That is not going to last forever. They are not going to be able to maintain that long term. They're going to see very like large fluctuations in their weight, very likely, more so than normal. But if you go the sustainable route and you go long term, you can expect to lose anywhere from half a pound to 2 pounds lost per week. That is great freaking progress. And oftentimes I see it and I hear it all the time. And you might have, and if you're a client of mine watching this right now, you might remember, right, to when you first started working with me. Or if you're a new client, you might be going through this, or you might go through this. So listen up. And even if you're not my client, listen up, and you're starting a fitness journey. You are going to see like this is normal progress. Do not get disappointed by, because I hear it all the time. What am I doing wrong? I only lost half a pound this week. What am I doing wrong? I only lost a pound this week, and I've been doing everything right. Like that is good. That is good. That is normal. That is what you should be expecting. That is that is great progress to see that. Some people have it even harder than that. Just to throw it out there, some people losing 1 pound a month just because of all these other like metabolic factors, like they've got like unresponsive thyroid issues, they've got like unresponsive PCOS issues that aren't like, and what I mean by unresponsive is like medications and things like that aren't working, that are happening, right? There's people in situations like that where they're like incredibly happy to have lost like a pound in a month, right? Because because of those underlying like metabolic issues that they got going on. So just don't look at like a pound a week and look it in the face and be like, I am disappointed in that, because that is not something to be disappointed in. That is amazing progress, and recognizing that and setting the tone and setting that realistic expectation from the beginning is going to help you stay in a positive mindset, so you don't self-sabotage, you don't shame spiral or make yourself feel like shit. It's normal to not see any progress in a week. Not see any progress in a week on the scale. It's normal. It is normal to see that. Like that is completely like weight loss is not linear. Weight loss is not linear, right? It's not going to go down like that. It's like with anything. There's going to be like highs and lows, and the average trend going down over time. I'm doing a fun little dance. Over time is downward, but there were going to be highs and lows and bumps and periods of time where you feel like you're like flatlining, like it's just like you're like nothing's happening, and then guess what? Because you stuck with it, then you break through that plateau as long as you've got a good plan and a good coach going on, like, and you're doing what you're supposed to be doing. That is what is going to happen, and you need to set that tone with yourself and have that realistic expectation that that's what's going to happen going into it, so you don't get disappointed, right? Because that's why people quit all the time, is because they set unrealistic expectations coming into it, and then when they don't hit those unrealistic expectations that nobody can hit, I can't. I'm not even gonna be. I can't hit that shit. You want me to lose 5 pounds in a week? No way. Like that's not happening. That is not happening. That is not healthy to happen. That's bad for me. That would be bad for me. I'd be losing so much muscle if I was doing that, if I was doing that route, and you would be too, more than likely, unless you're in one of those situations where you are in terms of proportions and things like that. Like the more overweight that you are, the more that you can technically lose and still be okay. But like you don't want that. Like that's not healthy. That's not good. Like fuck getting to the finish line quicker if it costs you your like sanity and like your physical health, like because like you're defeating the purpose of doing this in the first place. Like if you're doing something extremely unhealthy to get healthier, then it's not healthy, right? It's counterintuitive. So that's my thought process on that. That's how much weight you should be losing on a weekly basis if you were doing everything properly. And I say should with apostrophes, quotations around it, because everybody's journey is their own. Some people it's going to be slower. It just will. Some people it's going to be a little bit faster. Some people are really lucky and they might be able to lose 3 or 4 pounds. They might, maybe. Like if you've got really good genetics and you're doing everything perfectly and you're going above and beyond to be like perfect, yeah, maybe you could. But in the same sense, some people might only lose 1/4 of a pound a week. You know, there's a spectrum of like how lucky you are versus how hard you're willing to work too. So at the end of the day, you got to take those things into consideration. Be honest with yourself, because not everybody should be losing. Not everybody should. Not everybody. It's not sustainable for everybody to lose 2 pounds a week. Some people it's sustainable to lose about a half a pound or a pound a week. Like and it's that's okay. Like be okay with that. And the more okay you are with that, and the more realistic your goals are, and the expectation that you set from the beginning of your fitness journey, the more likely you are to succeed at actually achieving it. So, just to recap, anybody who is starting a fitness journey right now, right, half a pound to 2 pounds lost per week is normal. It's completely normal. Anything more than that, you're getting into weird shaky territory, unless like I previously stated, you are like severely overweight. Then it is more likely okay to lose more than that. But for most people who are trying to lose weight, half a pound to 2 pounds lost per week, completely normal. Don't push it further than that, because if you do, you're probably going to lose a lot of you're going to lose a lot of muscle, which you can't afford to lose right now, especially if you're in a weight loss journey. So you want to maintain as much of that as possible, because if you don't, you're 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 slowing your metabolism. The more lean body mass that you lose from a weight loss journey, the slower you're making your metabolism be technically. And also when you lose weight, your metabolism is going to get slower as well, because you're just a smaller person and your body requires less energy to maintain itself. And so there's all these factors going into play. So you want to do this like the right way. You want to do this the right way. You don't want to lose a shit ton of muscle that you can't afford to lose. And also, too, just to preface, if you are starting a fitness journey and you are doing strength training as well as being in a caloric deficit, and you're trying to body recomp as well, expect it to be even slower potentially. Expect it to be even slower potentially, because you're going to be building muscle at the same time while you're losing this weight, and your body's going to be recomping itself. And so there's this like stalemate effect that I talk about a lot for people. And so your body's changing. Oh my gosh, I'm losing inches. I feel stronger. I feel healthier. I'm happier. But the scale's not going down. Like what gives with that? Like that's weird, right? It's not that weird if you're strength training. If you're strength training, you're stimulating your body to build muscle, right? And you're in a caloric deficit, so you're losing fat, right? But you're encouraging muscle gain from the strength training, which is great. So you've got the stalemate effect where you're losing weight, so the downward trend in the scale from the fat loss, but an upward trend in the scale because you're putting on muscle. So oftentimes people will be stuck at this stalemate effect while their body is losing fat and building muscle at the beginning. But if you stick it out and you don't quit because you're disappointed in the results that the scale is saying, even though everything else is pointing towards you being a healthier and stronger version of yourself, if you can get past that, guess what happens? You gain, you keep gaining the muscle, but eventually the fat loss, the muscle gain kind of like slows down a little bit, because you can only gain so much in a certain period of time, and a lot of that happens very quickly at the beginning. What happens is that this slows down a little bit, this slows down a little bit, building that muscle, so the upward trend kind of slows down and dies off a little bit. But this still keeps happening, and it actually happens even faster because now you have more muscle to help promote that fat loss and increase your metabolism. Ooh, guess what? Like then shit starts happening. Then shit starts rolling even faster. So if you focus on the long game and not just so much on the short term with what's going on in your journey at that time, right? If you can think ahead and look ahead and be like, man, this is going to pay off big time. Like, guess what? It does. Like, so often at the beginning, I've had clients that are like, I'm just like, keep following the fucking plan. Keep following the plan. Stick with it. Just stick with it. Trust the process. Time and time, it's that whole like like you see like there's like an old meme or something like that, or an old picture or comic strip. It's like like there's a miner who's like going, he's like looking for gold, and then he's doing it for like who the fuck knows how long, and then he finally he can't tell, but we can tell because we can see the picture. He's like going to mine, looking for diamonds or gold or whatever the hell, and he quits right there when he's like inches away from striking gold or striking diamonds. He's like, it's never gonna happen, and he quits and he walks away and he's like, fuck this shit. And then guess what happens? The other miner who was like who just did it one more day, or did it for like 5 minutes more, and went that extra mile and trusted that it would happen because he's doing the work, he's doing what he's supposed to in the scenario, he hits it. And guess what? He only had to put in a tiny bit more work and trust the process just a little bit longer. And then he got all that progress. He got all the results. And that's what happens. That's what happens. I see it time and time again where a client is on the brink and they're like, oh man, I'm not seeing the progress. Like the scale's not going down. Like my body's like, I feel stronger. Like I look better, but like that scale is like bothering me. Like and they get it in their heads, and they're just like in this like, this negative headspace about the scale because they're letting it dictate, their worth or their mindset or their day. And then and the ones that just hold on just a little bit longer, guess what? Then they break through. They break through that plateau that they were at, even though their body was just recomping. And then they get the progress, and they're like, oh shit! It confirms and affirms it in their mind. They're like, you're right. Damn, like you were right. And that's what you got to do. That's what you got to have. You got to trust the process. 99.9% of people that are out there trying to lose weight right now, you are not that fucking special that you can absolve yourself from the law of thermodynamics. Like I am sorry, but you cannot. Like you just can't. And so again, 99.9% of you people who are out there right now who are going to be trying to lose weight, like, you are not above physics. You are not above the law. You're not above like energy balance. You just aren't. And I'm sorry to say that you are not special. I'm not fucking special. Nobody is special. So persevere, hang on, set realistic expectations from the beginning, push through it in those moments whenever you're doubting yourself, and you will get what you want. But have those realistic expectations from the get go. Half pound, 2 pounds lost per week is normal. It's what you're probably going to see. And yeah, just keep all those things in mind. But I hope that this was valuable. I hope that this was helpful. Set that expectation though. And I hope you guys, if you're, start now. Start freaking now. Start now. Don't wait till New Year's. Start now. Don't wait till New Year's. Other than that though, happy Thursday. Let me know if you guys got what value you got from this. Let me know your number one takeaway. Leave a comment if you got value. If this was helpful, feel free to share this video. If somebody, you feel like could benefit from it, give it a like so that way other people get a chance to see it with the algorithm. And other than that, I appreciate everybody for tuning in for the last 25 minutes. I'm gonna get out of here. Don't forget though, apply to the 4-day challenge. Send me a message or click on the link in my story or in the chat in the description of this video on Facebook. But other than that though, I will talk to you all later. Bye everybody.